live. I think my fingers have actually done something technical. Okay, I'll see if anybody comes on live. This is my first time I've actually been on Instagram live, so I don't know what I'm doing, but that's not anything different to usual. Oh, okay, people are here, that means we're live. I think it means we're live. Oh, welcome. Hi, folks. So nice to actually virtually chat to you because, yeah, I mean, if you've been following this account, you might have noticed that I don't really come on live very often. And that is because my fingers need assistance. I can't do technical things on my own. So I've actually done this by myself, so I hope you're proud of me. Welcome. I can see people coming in. Oh, it's not as hard as I actually expected. That's good. Yes, you are live. Perfect. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Perfect. Oh, where is everybody coming from? That's one of them questions you ask, isn't it, when you go live? Where are you coming from? Tell me where you're from. Amazing. Okay, thank you so much for showing up. I thought I'd just be sitting here talking to myself, actually, so it's nice to see you all. Anyway, as people are coming in, welcome to those I can see. Katie, Trudy, Poetic Floods, amazing. I like those words as a combination. Elizabeth, Candy, nice, hi. Aw, thank you so much for showing up. Caroline, Ninja, Pook Girl, amazing. Okay, cool. So welcome. As people are coming in, I'll just let you know what we're going to be doing in this little session. So we're going to be working with understanding or learning about the root chakra, so the base energy center in the body, and excess and deficiency, so how we might move that root chakra out of its energetic sort of balance point. And this is something that I, I'm very well aware of myself because it's something that I've specifically struggled with throughout my life. So the root chakra is definitely a place that I have done a lot of work around. So I thought I would share some of the stuff that I know about it. Welcome. I'm just trying to see if people can hear me okay. That's why I'm speaking like a disjointed robot. Other than the fact that sometimes I can be a disjointed robot. Can you hear me? Give me a wave, give me a thumbs up. So, excess and deficiency in the root chakra. That's what we'll be talking about. I'm going to move through some symptoms of what deficiency looks like, excess looks like, what both of those things are, talk a little bit about the root chakra, and then we'll do a little Kundalini practice that helps to balance out excess and deficiency. And that's why Kundalini yoga is so powerful and brilliant, because it's probably one of the only practices that allows us to balance both excess and deficiency. Usually practice work with either excess or deficiency, and this is going to help to balance both. Hello, welcome. Pop into the chat where you've come from and what sort of time of the day it is where you are, if you can be bothered to do that. And then I can just get to know everybody and see where people are actually from. Lovely. Italy, amazing. Hey, ciao. Wonderful. So, all you'll need for this little session, my friends, is you find self, and I'm sitting on a bolster. We're going to do a very, very simple 3-minute practice, maybe a little bit longer than 3 minutes. So when we actually get to that practice shortly, you will want to be sitting on something comfortable. So it doesn't matter if it's a chair, it doesn't matter if it's a bolster, a yoga mat, something that slightly heightens the hips. Sweden, Canada, Glasgow, yippee, Australia, Germany, amazing. Hi, Pakistan. Ah, wonderful. Finland, everywhere then. Poland. The World Wide Web. We're like trees with the Wood Wide Web, but the World Wide Web. UK. Latvia, amazing. Netherlands. Ah, hi folks. India. Oh, great. Okay, so yes, bring yourself something comfortable to sit on. If you want a cup of tea, go grab that and we'll get started. So I think a couple of people who've come live today oh, hi Bridget. Nice to see you, my friend. I've got a couple of people from my community that seem to have joined. And just a quick one before we start, massive warm welcome to any ladies who've just signed up to my Living in Light course. Over the next few weeks, you'll receive a couple of emails. I know there's a few of you on here. So just do some of the little pre-things that come before the course, and I shall see you in Sister Circle in a couple of weeks' time. So if anybody is looking to join in Living in Light this time round, you can just sort of comment the word light in the chat box, and we're going to be working through an 8-week journey through the chakras, voila, with Kundalini Yoga, and this is powerful. We're really getting to core beliefs to sort of shift and change our energetic blueprint. So comment light in the chat box if you are interested, and welcome to those who've already signed up. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into the session today. So, root chakra. This is going to be a mini root chakra reset. Let's talk about the root chakra in general first and foremost. So, some of you may not be familiar with the chakra system. So I'll put that into a little nutshell first and foremost. So the chakra system, specifically the chakra system that I work with in Kundalini Yoga, the science of energy and awareness, is this main chakra system that runs all the way up and down the Sushumna, so this central column. And at the base of this chakra system, we've got the root chakra, and at the top we've got the crown, and surrounding it we have the aura, the auric field. Hello, hello to those who've just come in. And the chakra system essentially is I want to call it, we've just talked about this, you know, trees, they have this wood wide web. Underneath the ground, they have this interconnected web where they apparently talk to each other. I mean, I talk to trees, so it's not that strange, really. And the chakra system is the same. It's like this sort of like web of information where we receive life's energy into our subtle body. It's called our subtle physiology. So we receive life's information into the chakra system like Wi-Fi, and we work with that information, right? And so the chakras are essentially our energy body or energy bodies. And they're a very subtle part, right at the core of our being. And our energy body, or our energetic blueprint, if you like, through the chakras, these little portals of energy that vibrate at different frequencies in the body, they essentially feed the rest of our systems, the nervous system, the glands, the organs, the psyche, the emotional body at the solar plexus, at the digestive tract. So this subtle body, it sounds subtle because it is subtle, because it's spinning at a much higher frequency than more of the dense body, this physical body, that we're sitting in, that we're living in, the meat suit. So the chakras, essentially one of the reasons that we can't see them is because they are spinning at such a high frequency. And these frequencies are all different. So the root chakra spins at a little bit of a denser frequency to, let's say, the crown chakra. And the root chakra and the lower chakras are all related to earth and our experience of belonging on this beautiful planet. And the upper chakras above the heart space are related to the heavens. So they're very much about our spiritual connection with the world and existence and the infinite connection that we have with everything around us. So the chakras are essentially, I call them healing wheels, because they are spiraling pools or portals of energy inside of our body that have these psychosomatic tendencies. So the blueprint of our energy body, the core beliefs that we hold in the energy body, somebody said I've frozen. Not always a bad thing. Maybe I'll come back on. The core beliefs that we hold about ourselves in the energy body start to become the life that we live. So what we really work with in Kundalini Yoga is this movement and transformation of energy in the chakras, so that we can start to balance, find some equanimity in the body. Not frozen anymore. We're all here, good. And this starts to manifest into our life. So I want to talk about today the root chakra. So the root chakra, it's right at the base of the spine, right at the base of the spine, like the spine's bottom axis, as if it's the core going into the earth. And it's very much related to the earth frequency, right? So when we think about this anchorage system at the root chakra, that's basically what it is. It's an anchor. It's an anchor that anchors us into our dwelling place in the cosmos. Hello, hello, hello. All fine, all fine, all fine. Grand. So let's think about the chakra system in that way. The first point of call is, how can we connect to and find a sense of anchorage and belonging and stability in life itself? It's the absolute foundational frequency of the chakra system. Okay? So one thing we talk about in yoga, or specifically Kundalini Yoga, is a word called Vastu. Vastu. And Vastu is taken from an Indian architectural system, which is sort of similar to Feng Shui. Feng Shui? I'm not sure if that's how you say it. And it's the way in which we would design a home so that the home has this very sort of beautiful Zen-like ability to keep us calm or allow us to move through the home with this beautiful architectural regulation. So we've got this here in the home and this here in the home, and it makes everything feel balanced, and so we can move through our life with this equanimity in our immediate environment. And so one of the hearts of the home, or in this Indian architectural system, we call this Vastu Shastra. And Vastu Shastra is basically the dwelling place. Yeah? So it's like the home, creating this dwelling place that we feel safe and secure and we feel that we belong in. The basic trust in life starts there. And loads of people are writing stuff here, and I don't dare touch the screen. I don't know if I'm meant to, because my fingers do weird things like blow up electrical things. So I will talk and I'll have a little look at things later. So that is the Indian architectural design system in a home, Vastu Shastra. And at the centre of that space is the earth element. Yeah, this is the element that makes us feel like we belong in the space, our dwelling place to dwell. Now, right at the base of our energy system, if you were to think about this as Vastu Shastra, this Indian architectural design system, that's very similar to how our chakra system works. Yeah, right at the base of the body, at the base of the spine, we have this place where we dwell, the dwelling place, our home. So the root chakra is all about how can we start to feel at home, number one, in our body, number two, in our immediate environment, number three, in the very physical and material world that we're living in, and this very physical state, yeah, earth, at home in earth. And so That's why it sits right at the base of the chakra system, is because essentially, if we don't have that strong foundational anchorage system, the rest of the energy body, if you like, the rest of the energy doesn't have a sturdy ground to work with. Yeah, you wouldn't build a house on quicksand because it would fall down, right? So essentially, when we're working with the root chakra, it's all about how can we create this stable foundation, this dwelling place, so the rest of our energy can feel like it's got some stable grounds to work on. Same thing like a tree. I always relate the chakra system to a tree. The tree has these big, strong roots going into the ground. That's why a tree is essentially very grounding, right? It has this big, strong roots going into the ground, and then the trunk moves up. It starts to gain this identity. Ooh, look at me, I'm a little oak tree growing. And then it starts to grow, and then the branches come out into the heavens. And the branches are allowed to be free and can grow into the heights of the sky, because the roots grow so deep into the earth, right? So really connecting to our root chakra is absolutely vital when it comes to the energy system. Next thing I wanted to say was, if you think about a tree compared to a human, yeah, a tree is actually attached to the earth. A plant is actually attached to the earth, whereas a human is like, well, we don't really walk like that. Some of us do. Cats do. Human, cats, dogs, you know, all of these animals and things walking on the earth that aren't actually attached to the earth. How do we find that anchorage system where we feel like we're anchored in our place in space, in the cosmos, our vastu? We actually have to create that energetically. And that's where it starts. It starts in the subtle system. We have to create that sense of belonging in our energy, because everything is energy at its core, right? Hello, hello, hello. Just double checking everybody's still here. Perfect. Okay, so that's what we're working with when we're working with the root chakra. We're working with finding that beautiful dwelling place in our energy body. So what we're going to talk about today is the ways in which we might move out of that anchorage system. So the themes of the day is security, belonging, having a basic trust in life itself, having a sense of self-trust and a basic trust of our physical body taking us from A to B, for example. And earth, right? This connection to earth. These are all the qualities of the chakra system. And so what can happen, because we obviously go through ebbs and flows of life, right? We can sway, and we're not continuously attached to the ground like a tree. So we actually have to continuously keep working with that anchorage system inside of our energy body and our physical body. And what we do by doing this is recognizing what our energetic state is at that root chakra. And this is where we might talk about excess and deficiency. So let's get into what excess and deficiency actually are. So excess and deficiency are when we have either too much energy in a chakra or too little. Yeah, so let's call it charge. Let's call it charge. We have too much charge in an energy center, or we don't have enough charge in an energy center. Yeah, and this can then start to affect all of the different energy centers. Sure, because they all work in unison. Everything in life works in unison somewhere along the lines, right? So how does our chakra system, or specifically let's talk about the root, because that's what we're here for, create this imbalance, this excess or deficiency? So when a human, when you or me go through a stressful period in life, or we go through trauma, or we go through a negative experience that feels unsafe, yeah? Our body, or our energy specifically, usually moves in one or two ways. It either increases energy in the system to be able to run from the stressful, negative, traumatic situation. Yeah, this is just a protective mechanism in our energy body, in our subtle body, and in the nervous system as well, which starts to respond to that sort of initial energetic response. So it goes one of two ways. It either goes, it increases energy in the body so we can run from the situation. We might call this fight or flight. We might call this sympathetic activation. Just a very natural response, right? The body feels like it, or our energy feels like it's in danger, it's in threat. So we've increased the energy so that we can run. Yeah? The other response to stress, trauma, negative experience in the moment is that our energy body will decrease and withdraw from the situation, which send it more into a sort of like freeze state, a withdrawal state. And that's when a chakra goes into a space where there is not enough energy, right, in the system. So this is what creates excess or deficiency. Excess is too much energy in a chakra. Actually, I've got a little diagram, one sec. I think I've left it over here and I have... Oh, no, I haven't. Where's the diagrams? Oh, they're here. Right, so I drew these diagrams and they're probably a little bit backwards, but excess root chakra. Can you see it? An excess root chakra, there is so much energy in the root chakra, you can't see the writing, but it doesn't matter, that it's becomes almost solidified. Yeah, the energy can't move up to awaken us, and the energy also can't move down to ground us because it's overwhelmed. Yeah, that's an example of excess, too much energy in the chakra. And this is a little diagram, you don't have to read the writing, of a deficient root chakra. Yeah, so this is when there is not enough energy in that root chakra, and any energy that comes in there, it just disperses everywhere. It sort of leaks everywhere throughout the energetic system. I mean, this is a bit of a ridiculous diagram, right? And so therefore it can't ground at all. So the energy sort of becomes very, very chaotic. And we might notice, because I'm going to bring some sort of symptoms in, each of these different symptoms in ourselves, right? And we can also swing between both. We can swing between both. You might even feel completely balanced in that space as well. My experience of life, because of the way in which my life has unfolded and the stories that have cropped up in my life, has actually been a very big challenge for me in the root chakra. Yeah, this sense of belonging and stability and survival has been something that I've had to work quite hard with. Pop in the comments if you already feel that that might be you. And remember, this is absolutely not about fixing us as humans. We're already bloody brilliant. This is just about bringing awareness, shining the light of awareness on our patterning so we can start to move through life with a little bit less suffering and a little bit more sovereignty and power, right? So let's talk about excess root chakra. This is the one where there is too much energy in the root chakra, that it's becoming almost like stagnant. Okay, the energy is stagnant there. And some of the symptoms that you might find if you are in excess is, one of the first things is material obsession. So remember, these are not something wrong with our excess, they're not character flaws, they're just things that happen in the energy body, right? So excess root chakra is material fixation. So hoarding things, and feeling completely attached to our possessions, our money, our physical body, life, the world, the physical world. And so this might manifest as when we get money, we feel fearful of spending it. When we get possessions, we feel so scared that they're going to be lost. This feeling that we don't feel secure enough to be abundant on this planet, to give and receive freely. This is a heart chakra thing as well, but it very much starts in the root. So we tend to feel very sort of like, my precious, I have to keep everything so close, and we struggle to open ourselves up to challenges and moving forward with things because we're so scared of losing some of the material things that we've got, right, in this lifetime. Another thing I've written down is, because there's many, but I want to go through some specifically, is feeling sluggish, fatigued and tired, right? So if you are excess in the root and there's too much energy in there, it's become a little bit stagnant, there's nowhere for the energy to go. Sluggishness, flatness, fatigue and very tired are some of the symptoms that are very much of this excess root chakra, okay? You might notice some of these in yourself. I definitely can go through them from time to time, so that's absolutely fine. So that's more on the flatter end. So the energy tends to feel more heavy, not light. Yeah, whereas if it's in deficiency, your energy feels too light and not grounded enough. Yeah, so let's think about this again. You might notice yourself in this excess, if we've got this obsession with keeping everything, scared to give, scared to release, scared to let go of. It might come along with fatigue, tiredness, flat state, heavy. Literally the body feels very, very heavy. This is not grounded. This is a security pattern. Both excess and deficiency come from the same wound, which is, I am not safe. I don't feel safe here. I don't feel like I belong, okay? We'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. Another thing I've written down is, addiction to security. Addiction to security is a similar thing to this sort of like material fixation, is that your life is continuously about trying to feel secure, and you never do. Yeah, so it might come around through things like money is quite a good example here. Feeling like you don't have enough support, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough sort of support to be able to take you from A to B as a human in this material world. Yeah, so you feel lacking in support, and it really manifests in the energetic system. So with that comes fear of change. Right, so you might notice some of these things in yourself, and that's absolutely fine. In fact, our energy is continuously moving in and out of these states because that's life, right? So fear of change is a massive one for excess symptoms. And that might come in the sense of, as you are about to move into a new project, let's say, a new business, or you're about to embark on a whole new thing. Like today, I've done this is new to me, right? Going live on Instagram, and everything new is quite scary, it's quite challenging, right? And I'm the same, because the nervous system likes familiar patterns, our energy likes familiar patterns, and when something new crops up, our nervous system is going to try and protect us and stop us from doing the thing that breaks out of that familiar pattern. So today I'm like, ooh, I've got to do something technical with my fingers. So that fear of change comes up. And this can be very, very strong in people with root chakra excess. So fear of change in the sense that the whole routine has to be very, 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 very samey every single day. And when something new comes up, and this can vary from degrees of fear of change, right? From 0 to 10, it can be lesser or greater. But when this fear of change comes up, they would literally more like freeze and not take on the new experience because of it being too challenging for the root chakra excess to handle, right? I've also written down, so rigid boundaries comes with this. Rigid boundaries in the sense that when we fear change, all of our systems, nervous system, psyche, emotional body, everything, sort of bases its functionality around that core belief. So it goes, okay, you fear change because you don't feel safe, so we're gonna build this safety mechanism around that core belief. Yep. So when we start to move out and explore the world and change something, or something new comes along, or even tomorrow comes along, we start to fear the unknown continuously. But the only thing in the world that's really going on is unknown stuff, right? Like nobody knows what's happening tomorrow. But if we were fearful in the root chakra, we would be very, very fearful of what's happening tomorrow. We wouldn't allow the process of life to unfold because we feel too fearful of the unfamiliar, change, newness, and really every day is newness. So it can be a challenge to sort of move through life with that flow and that ease when we've got that root chakra excess. And I'm speaking to myself here, I'm not just spitting out words, it's all stuff that I've experienced myself. Last couple on excess are more physical stuff. So I've written down frequent illnesses, specifically disorders of the solid parts of the body. Teeth. Don't look at my teeth, they're all crumbling. That says something, doesn't it? Coffee. Not root chakra, coffee. This is actually water today with ginger. I thought I'd just be right spiritual and cool as I came live. But it's all a lie, my friends. So, disorders of the bones, bone ill health, teeth, solid parts of the body, feeling heavy and like your body is sort of not supporting itself, right? So this frequent illness, it comes in excess when there's too much energy in that centre and it solidifies, it becomes stagnant. It's not spiralling as a wheel like it likes to. But it can also come in deficiency as well. So the two different sorts of frequent illnesses. If we are in excess in the root chakra, frequent illnesses might be of the more sort of fatigued nature. So because we fear change and we're more in that flat or fatigued state, a little bit sort of heavy, can't quite get ourselves going, fear of this change and this newness and this lightness that comes with some of the upper energy centres, then essentially we're going to start to get some of the physical symptoms of that fear of change, right? That core belief. And that can be a very fatigued body. On the other end of the spectrum, I'm just going to see if everybody is still here. Well, not everybody's still, you'd have to stay. Oops. But if we're still live and I'm not just talking to myself, yeah, looks like it's okay. Okay, so let's move into deficiency. So deficiency, excess, too much. Deficiency, too little, sporadic, no grounding, no stability, no anchorage, no vastu. Let's talk about that quickly, then we're going to get into a little Kundalini session. Deficiency, I've written down. This is, a lot of people can relate to this one. Disconnection from the body. This is the first one that I've written down. So feeling disconnected from your body as if your mind, your body and your spirit are working in totally different dimensions. I mean, they are in a sense, but we want them to work a little bit coherently in this lifetime, right? Yeah. So Disconnection from the body might feel like disassociation. It might feel like you don't feel at home in your body, like you don't feel your body is a trusted source to take you from A to B in this world. And that, you know, that can come up in daily life as feeling like you're not in yourself. You're not moving from your truth. You're not moving from your own sense of security. And my partner's let the cat out. I'm not sure why. Why are you here, darling? Okay. So, sorry, it's this cat, look. He's not very well, so he might meow. I'll have to pop him somewhere. So, is this disconnection, right? Next thing is something that disconnection or disassociation or not feeling stable in your own body can create is lightheadedness and dizziness. Okay, so feeling dizzy every now and again, feeling lightheaded every now and again, like you're very, very light. I can get that, and I have to have very grounding foods often. Yeah, so very, very earthy foods, sweet potato, which I absolutely hate, potatoes, things that grow in the earth, rooted things, okay? 1 second. I'm going to have to put him somewhere. Sorry, folks. He's knocking down the camera. So where are we at? Fearful, lightheaded, always needing to ground, always needing to sit near a tree, always needing to have this denser sort of food source, if you like. So this is a deficient symptom. Couple more, you might be able to recognise it. Fearfulness, anxiousness, restlessness, not being able to rest. These are really core when it comes to deficient symptoms in the root. Feeling fearful all the time. Fearful in a different way. So excess is fear of change. Deficiency is fear of this lack of support. So always feeling like the foundations of the body are rocky. Always feeling like the foundations of the energy system are not supporting you because the energy is much more scattered. Okay? Restlessness obviously comes with the anxiety. Anxiety really is definitely one of the main emotional, energetic states that people who have got deficient root chakras would feel. And that comes with restlessness because anxiety is an emotion that wants to move, right? It's a secondary emotion. It's often a cover-up emotion, but it's an emotion that wants to move. So because we've got that anxiety, because we don't feel safe, we need to move continuously. Maybe we do this housework. Maybe we do loads of fidgety things with our hands. Maybe we continuously have to be doing something and we never give ourselves the ability to be able to rest and surrender into the moment. Yeah, somebody with deficient root chakra would really struggle with surrendering into the moment. Yeah, actually sitting down. So there we have, can't settle. Not being able to settle is something that I've written down. And that is in life in general. So not being able to feel that the world is supporting them enough and that the next moment is going to be the moment that they settle in. So when I have this job, I'll feel settled. When I have this home, I'll feel settled. When I have this relationship, I'll feel settled. When this, that and the other happens in my life, I'll feel settled. So it's very much about never feeling very settled, always feeling like home is not available in the now moment. And it is, because it's an energetic thing. It starts in the subtle body. It really starts in that Muladhara. Okay, what else have I written down? Poor focus and scattered energy. You know, these are things that I have experienced so many times daily, right? And that's why I do Kundalini yoga, to help me anchor myself back to that space as well. But the world is very much set up for a root chakra upheaval, right? It's not just that it's coming from our experience in life as humans. Yeah, we all have these different tapestries of life, these different ways in which we've been brought up, different environments, different parenting, different schooling, different experiences in general, which all influence how a chakra works in that sense, and how the rest of the chakra system works from that. Even going back into the ancestral lineage as well, because our energy body carries memory, energetic imprints from lifetimes ago. Yeah, it's not just in our lifetime. So essentially we can, but the same thing comes to life itself now. Yeah, life itself now, and the way in which the world works, it's set up for this disconnect from root. It's continuously trying to take our energy into the head, into the mind, overthinking, ruminating. We've very much worked through this masculine energy state for a very, very long time, which is logical, yeah? But the root is very much about coming back down into the body, coming back down into the earth, and allowing ourselves to be in the body again. And the world does not encourage that, does it? It goes, right, what can we buy for Christmas? What can we go next? What's going on here? What's happening tomorrow? It's so disconnecting that we have to do this energy work to be able to reconnect us. Right, last few things here, then we'll get into a little session. So with excess being rigid boundaries, fear of change, not wanting to move forward, deficiency is loose boundaries. Constantly trying to sort of like maybe people please and saying yes to everything and not having any containment in our energy. So we're not rooted in our sovereignty, we're not rooted in our system, and we're continuously flitting around the place instead of integrating into one task at a time and allowing that task to be sort of focused and present. We are continuously maybe flitting between maybe even hobbies or things or doing stuff, or we can't quite sort of bring ourselves into this steady rhythm of life. It very much is about what can come next, yeah? It's always about chasing the next moment. It's not about integrating and processing into the moment that we're in right now. And the same thing deficient we've got with the illness. So frequent illnesses. Yes, a person can be a bit of both. I've just seen there, Kath, I think. A person can be a bit of both, and throughout our life it changes as well, depending on our life experiences at the time. Yeah, it's not all set in stone, isn't our energy system. It's just about learning and becoming aware of these core beliefs and where our energy's at, and then we can start to use tools to be able to integrate ourselves back into where we feel most truthful as ourselves, right? So yeah, anyway, same thing with deficiency and excess is frequent illnesses. So very much the root chakra in general is associated with the physical body. Yeah, because of it being the earth frequency, it's very much about physicality. Yeah, more denser matter than some of the upper chakra system. So it is related to physical illness. So if you're frequently anxious, and you've gone into the fight or flight continuously because all of your energy is in the upper chakras, all of your energy is in this sort of this upward pranic flow, which is our masculine in-breath, sun energy. It comes on the inhale, and it's not enough exhale and integration of the lower chakra system, yeah, then if our energy is complete in the anxious state, we're going to have more frequent illnesses around the sort of anxiety driven stuff. So always feeling this scattered energy and anxious energy where we aren't sort of solidifying in this lower part of the body. So we'll feel probably more tense and tight in the upper energy, all in the neck and the throat and the heart, the head, headaches, migraines, stuff going on here, yeah, dizziness, lightheadedness, like I say. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, when it comes to the excess symptoms, the frequent illness is not of the anxiety sort, it's more of the flatness and heaviness sort. So yes, they both work with this sort of frequently getting ill in the physical body because we don't feel safe in our energy system, but they're different when it comes to excess and deficiency. And there's another thing, elimination problems. This is probably going to be the last thing that I'll talk about. So elimination problems on both ends. Deficiency will create elimination problems. Excess will create elimination problems. You can probably imagine this. Let's say you are deficient in the root chakra, which is essentially this one. Scattered energy with nowhere to go, no grounding. That can create in your system this sort of tense feeling where your energy uplifts and goes into anxiety, then you can't eliminate. So it might be more of the constipation sort, because you can't take that exhale. We call it apana in Kundalini Yoga. It's this release, this feminine force, elimination force, apana. So we constantly like this, and we never like this, Whereas in the opposite end of the spectrum, we might have this more downward pull, which could come into more of the other end of the spectrum when it comes to elimination. So we might have elimination problems because the root chakra works with the elimination organs. So that's it, excess and deficiency. And they can swing between both. These things can be caused, like I say, through varying things that happen in our life that disconnect us from our sense of safety. It doesn't matter whether you're excess or deficiency, right? Because both of those things come from the same core wound, which is, I do not feel safe. I do not feel safe. I do not feel like I belong. Yeah, give me a yes if anybody recognises these things in yourself. All right, excess or deficiency, or maybe you feel very balanced here. This is not of a judgmental space. That's not what we're working with in the energy system. We're just working with simple recognition and paying attention to these things so that we can feel good in ourselves again. Yeah. So before we get into a little Kundalini practice, it's only going to be 3 minutes, so do stay around for it because it's very helpful. I want to talk quickly about why Kundalini Yoga is so unbelievably powerful. We've got loads of yeses, you see. None of us are alone here. So Kundalini is so powerful for balancing out chakras because most practices, this is not anything against any practices. I do loads of different practices and they're all beautiful in their own way. But what Kundalini Yoga does is it's specifically working with the chakra system because it's working with the movement and transformation of energy to raise our awareness so that we can be more sovereign in our self, in our sense of self, and trust ourselves more. Yeah. We can become the master energy worker. So what Kundalini Yoga does is it works with the balance of prana and apana. And this helps to bring excess and deficiency in all chakras in the whole system into alignment, into balance. So you can do a Kundalini Yoga practice and it's working with excess and deficiency in one. Yay! We all like a practice that we can do and go, oh, great, that's working with breath, movement, sound, all of the chakra system, excess and deficiency, and I'm done. Now I can have my cup of coffee and go to work, right? In this day and age, when we're doing loads of separate practices, it's much, much more challenging because we don't have the time, right? So we're balancing prana and apana. Prana is this upward force, it's masculine, it's sun energy, it's what gets us up and active in the morning. Very, very important. It might be related to the sympathetic nervous system. Yeah, this ability to go up and act. And it comes with the in-breath. Our life force travels on this pranic in-breath. Now, apana is a totally different thing. Apana is the elimination force. It comes with the exhale. It is feminine energy. It's moon or lunar energy. It's about release. It's about elimination. It's about letting go. It's about surrender. Now, some practices work more with the prana, some practices work more with apana. So some practices are more activating and some are more sort of grounding, right? And in Kundalini Yoga, what we do is we are working specifically with balancing prana and apana and other pockets of breath or waves, frequencies of breath in the body, but this is for another day. And so naturally it works with this equanimity in the energy system, right? Loads of big people commenting, light, oh, lovely, hi. So, my friends, that is absolutely enough of me talking. We're going to do a very quick practice, a Kundalini practice. Now, you don't have to do this. You're more than welcome to watch it, learn it, and do it in your own time, yeah? That's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to make me a little bit more comfortable so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So if you're joining in with the practice, then do bring yourself to a comfortable seat. By the way, thank you so much for listening for so long. It was a little bit longer than expected. I was a little bit nervous of coming on live, if I'm honest, because I'm a total technophobe. I don't know how I do it every day in my inward communities. But, you know, better the devil you know. Lovely. So bring yourself into a comfortable seat if you are joining in with this little Kundalini practice. You might want to sit with the hips slightly elevated onto a bolster or some chunky books or even a chair, so you don't have to sit all the way down to the ground like this. Yeah? Lovely. Make yourself comfortable, folks. And for this little session, we're simply going to start by sitting up with a nice tall spine. So just allowing the vertebra of the spine to nice and neatly stack one upon another from the root, that anchorage system, all the way up to the crown. And you can bring the hands into what we call Gyam Mudra. So the tip of the first finger and thumb, they're going to touch. Then the back of the hand is going to come and just rest onto the lap. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the heart space and slightly tuck the chin in as if you're sort of holding a tiny baby crab apple underneath the chin. This is just to elongate the spine and the neck, the cervical spine. Close your eyes down, my friends, if you're joining in. Slightly relax the belly. Although you've got this long tall spine, slightly relax the belly so that when you breathe in, you're taking a full breath. Another root chakra deficiency is that often we might not be able to take a full breath. Our belly feels trapped, and it's very much a chest breath. So relax the belly and start long and deeply breathing into the full torso here, really expanding. So as you inhale, the belly expands, And as you exhale, the belly draws back, the spine slightly lifts, and keep going with this breath. So we're just going to take a couple of breaths here, bringing ourselves into the space. And just before we start the practice, if you're practicing with us, taking a tiny little smile with your mouth, this mouth. Just to remember that this stuff is not as serious as we sometimes make it out to be. Light-heartedness to every situation when it comes to working with our energy is a really beautiful icebreaker for our sense of returning back to that joyful state inside. And just allow your breath to be long, slow and deep for the next few moments. Make the breath slightly audible. Okay, so you're bringing your senses back into the present moment. You might hear the sound of the breath travelling through the throat. You might feel very tactile the breath sort of moving into the belly, moving into the ribs and the thoracic diaphragm. And just taking a couple more moments here, bringing your awareness into your body. If that doesn't feel safe or it doesn't feel comfortable, then bring your awareness into the tips of your fingers. That space between the first finger and thumb, and concentrate there. Notice your inner energy. You might even feel your energy body alive in the fingertips. And from this space, once we've done a couple of breaths here, we're simply going to turn the palms to face down and do a couple of very miniature little circles with the spine around the hips. So we're inhaling forward and we're exhaling back, just to get the energy grounded in the root chakra and also slightly circulating and encouraging the other chakras, a little bit of flow in the energy system. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. And then simply swap directions, inhaling forward, exhaling back. So your eyes are closed and it's very much an inward meditative movement. Lovely, and then come all the way back to that neutral spine position. Keep your eyes closed, take a big inhale through the nose. Hold the breath in, apply root lock, stretch up through the spine. So root lock, we're just slightly engaging the rectum and the pelvic floor muscles, right at that root area of the body. Hold, stretch. Take your gaze to the third eye point in between the brows, slightly up for a bit of focus. And then exhale, relax and release. And return back to your natural breath. Lovely. And from here, my friends, we're going to start a very simple meditation. Bring or hold down your ring finger and your little finger with the thumb. Okay, like this. And we're going to simply extend the arms out to the sides. So the arms are directly out to the sides. It looks like this, okay? Directly out to the sides. Sit up nice and tall, so the root and the crown, there's lots of space here. And we're going to do a very, very simple meditation. We're going to inhale through the teeth like this. as if you're sort of hissing inwards. At the top of the inhale, we're going to close the mouth and exhale through the nose. So we're doing that, and it's very, very simple. We're closing the eyes. We're just going to slightly focus at the brow point, and it's inhale through the teeth. Exhale through the nose. And keep going. Straight spine, slightly tuck chin. Inhale through the teeth. Exhale through the nose. Really nice, my friends. Inhale through the teeth. Exhale through the nose. Keep going. This is a really fantastic meditation that helps to release excess and balance deficiency simultaneously. So it will release energy that needs to be released, and it will ground energy that needs to be grounded, and it will uplift energy that needs to be uplifted. So it's working with equanimity and clearing in the root chakra. Keep going just for one more minute. Keep your arms out. You're doing great. I know there's a little challenge in the arms. Twenty more seconds. Stay with it. Keep your awareness inwards on the breath and the body, not the mind. And one last round through the teeth. Make it a nice big suck in through the teeth. Hold the breath in, close the mouth, stretch up, engage root lock, rectum, pelvic floor muscles, stretch the arms out, stretch the spine, hold. Keep the arms where they are, exhale. Inhale again deeply. Through the nose this time, hold, stretch, apply root lock. And exhale, relax and bring the hands down with the palms facing down onto the lap. Bring all of your awareness down to the base of the spine and visualize this big red swirling Muladhara chakra right at the base, this earth energy. And you might feel that this has uplifted you, you might feel that it's grounded you, but essentially it's your energy starting to move and transform in the body so we can start to find that energetic flow. Energy wants to move so that it can balance. Take a couple of moments in stillness, just breathing very, very naturally, bringing all of your awareness down into the physical body. And then bringing the palms to touch at the heart space in front. And Sat Nam, everybody, thank you so much. Sat Nam means truth is my name, truth is your name, truth is my name, truth is our name. That is a little meditation that you can do to just start to shift that excess and deficiency. Okay, it's also very good for releasing childhood anger, this sucking sound. It's clearing for our old energetic memory at the root chakra, allowing us to come back into balance in this space. Okay, my friends, so if you enjoyed this today and you want to be part of my 8-week journey through the chakras with Kundalini Yoga, this is my Living in Light course. We will work very systematically through the energy body with a year-long sister circle, so you can come, yay, be part of the sister circle, and we'll work with this together. We'll work with the whole chakra system. So comment light in the comments, if you like, if you want to join me this time round. And if not, thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. That is a tiny meditation you can take away with you and use it whenever you need to. Thank you, Gabriella. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, everybody that I can see. Okay, I've had enough of your time. I really appreciate you being here. Any questions, you're more than welcome to DM me, and lots of love to you. Satnam, have a good day, and ciao for now.